Of course, they're gonna ask as well about Anthony Cumia. Everybody loves the Ant-Man. He's a good boy. He's got a happy, smiley face, and he likes to dance. What can we say? But and I was love asking this because every time he does anything, there's people are right to get him. They're always flagging his not his YouTube, but reporting his Twitter or whoever they think is his Twitter, should we say? They're always trying to fuck with him, shut down the comedy shows,
Yep.
accuse him of like actual fucking crimes,
Right.
which I think's enough. So, for your perspective, because you're sort of in on the inside circle, what is it like seeing all that shit from the inside?
Um, well, you get used to it. It's like none of us have to be, we've all kind of chosen to work with these guys. What comes along with it. Like, yeah, I was having this conversation with like Josh Denny the other day, like who he chooses to work with Gavin McInnes, and he knows what risks and what adverse effects come from working with him and doing shows with him. Same thing, like none of us have to be doing this at all. Like there no one is how do I say this? Like you're not entitled to anything. You're not, just because you're funny, it's like you're not entitled to having a show, you're not entitled to do stand up, you're not entitled to have a certain number of followers. Like none of us have to be doing this. Like we have to fight each day to do what we love. It'd be so much easier just throw in the towel. Why not go work at the fucking deli? Um, no one's entitled to a career, so it's like you kind of have to fight each day for it. And I guess I learned kind of early on, my first few years in stand up, that like because of my point of view and my sense of humor, like I was not made to succeed in the mainstream. Like I was not cut out to get the late night spots, the Just for Laughs, the Comedy Central special. It's like because of my politics, and I guess like who I began associating with. Like I went from having a show at the Stonewall Inn to having a show at Compound Media. Same sense of humor, same person, but the people who stopped affiliating with me, stopped fucking with me, changed drastically. And I was like, you know what? Like if these are the people that find me funny, that like my stuff, like you want to go where you're loved, where you're wanted, and not simply where you're tolerated. And it's just been a process. It's been a journey of like finding who are your fans, who likes you, why, and where can you find more of them. And it's just through trial and error. I've learned it's people who love free speech, people who love comedy, people who are kind of like right of center, libertarian, you know, and once you get out of like New York City and LA, you find that is like honestly most of the country feels that way. So yeah, there's definitely risks associated with being involved with Compound Media, but only from, I guess, the point of view of like other comedians. Other comedians will mostly disregard you because of that associations. Regular people kind of don't really care. Regular people, like they still come out to shows. Outside of Antifa, like regular people are not trying to like cancel you or talk shit. I feel like a lot of toxicity comes from other comedians. And then, yeah, of course, you have like Antifa, who's trying to shut down any show that has to do with Gavin McInnes. That's why Censored gets a lot of heat. But you kind of, yeah, the risks and the rewards involved with who you associate with. And like for me, it's worth putting my money where my mouth is in terms of like free speech and standing up for comedy and comedians who should be able to say whatever the fuck they want on stage. I don't know if that really answered your question, but it's kind of like the risks associated, and like what's the option? Like puss out because you're afraid some people won't like you, or just lean in and be like, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is my deal. If you like it, great. If you don't, there's plenty of other people you can follow and go support them.
Uh, from your perspective, do you think that, or do you find that podcasting helps raise your profile more than actual stand up does? Because I was talking to a guy from a show called Insufferable Bastards, which was
Oh yeah, I know them.
such a rude name. My God, I could tell he voted for her, and and we were talking about the fact that uh, I think the comedians do better on podcasts because you get in their natural personality. Whereas anybody could get up on stage and be like fucking like, hey, so I was playing golf the other day, and I think they come across as more fake and insincere. So I think that in a weird way, podcasting, it's become the new version of stand-up, and you can see how suddenly someone can blow up from one episode ish. Not me, but you know.
Yes, you. I agree with you, because podcasting is how you get your fans who like you for your personality. Those are like the people that are actually fans of you, not like, oh yeah, I was in New York City, I saw them do 10 minutes of stand up, I didn't even follow them, I don't remember their name. It's like, if you build up a podcast fan base, like they're more likely to come out to shows, rather than like if you just, do quick spots here and there, or you do the road. Like those people might just be at the Comedy Cellar, at the club that night, because they wanted to go see comedy that, just that night. It didn't matter who was there. Whereas like podcasting allows you to build your own fan base.
Yeah, because I was talking to someone the other day who I'll not name, and we get speaking about Louis J. Gomez. And as a stand-up comedian, I have to admit, I don't think he's exactly Rodney Dangerfield. But when you see him on a podcast, he's very funny. And I think that's the general feeling with people, is that his stand-up isn't great, but his podcasts are hilarious. Let's go to Skankfest. Let's go to the live show, all that shit. So, and I think that when you guys, like if there was ever like a Compound Media type event, well, as shit may start easing up if we get the results we're looking for, if you know what I mean.
Well, we just had a Compound Media show in Orlando like a couple weeks ago, and it was great. It was pretty packed audience.
Oh no! Chad Zumark told me that it was there was only 4 people there, and it was in the stadium.
People?
That's what he told me.
Aw.
But with Anthony, it's the whole thing. Because I was talking about this with Vinnie Paulino, and it's all these people keep making these like accusations against him of fucking like frankly being a pedo, and it's like, if he really was a pedo, no one would be around him.
Yeah.
So it's like, at least make it a more realistic,
make up a more believable story. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make one up now. Here, Chrissie. You didn't hear this from me, right? But Anthony Cumia makes Gino suck his dick to keep his show.
Wow.
And that's why Aaron Berg left, because Aaron Berg's a homophobe.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
So you just confirmed that it's true.